What if I told you that some of us don't just stumble into heartbreak but chase it? That the chaos, the emotional wreckage, the ache of being shattered, it's not just something we survive, but something, deep down, we crave? You might recoil at that idea. No one wants to suffer, right? No one enjoys the sting of abandonment or the slow unraveling of a doomed relationship. And yet, look closer. How many times have you, or someone you know, returned to the same kind of pain wearing a different face? Why do we replay the same emotional patterns over and over, knowing how the story ends? This isn't just bad luck. It's not just poor choices or romantic misfires, it's something deeper, older, etched into the walls of our psyche like a haunting melody we can't stop humming. There's a term for it, emotional masochism. But don't let that word conjure images of whips or leather. This isn't about physical pain. It's about a psychological dance, the subtle, almost invisible desire to feel broken. Again and again. To understand this, we have to go back. Not just to childhood, though that's where the trail often begins, but even further. To a time when pain was survival. When early humans huddled in tribes learned that connection meant safety and rejection meant death. Emotional pain had to hurt. It was a signal, you're drifting too far, come back. The ache of exclusion wasn't just metaphorical. It triggered the same neural pathways as physical injury. Fast forward to now. We no longer face saber-toothed tigers or starvation in the forest, but that ancient wiring still hums beneath the surface. So when we experience rejection, loss, abandonment, it lights up the brain like fire. And for some of us, that fire becomes familiar. Almost. Comforting. Because here's the twist. Pain, especially emotional pain, can become home. If we grow up in chaos, if love was conditional or warmth was paired with withdrawal, then our blueprint for connection gets distorted. We don't learn to seek peace, we learn to seek patterns. And if those patterns involve instability, neglect, or emotional volatility, we'll gravitate toward them. Not because they're good for us, but because they're known. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once wrote that the pain of life outweighs its pleasure. It's a bleak thought, but he wasn't wrong in noting how central suffering is to the human condition. For some, the repetition of suffering becomes a kind of ritual, a way of asserting control in an uncontrollable world. If I choose the pain, if I walk into the fire willingly, then I'm no longer a victim. I'm a participant. And that illusion of agency, that momentary feeling of, I know how this will hurt and I want it anyway, can be intoxicating. Psychologist Theodore Millon, who studied personality disorders in depth, described emotional masochism as the compulsion to avoid pleasure or to invite suffering, especially when it interferes with success or happiness. But this isn't about sadism. It's not about enjoying pain for pain's sake, it's about using pain as a familiar language, a way to feel alive, seen, validated. Think about that friend who always dates the same kind of destructive partner, or the artist who can only write when they're heartbroken, or the high achiever who sabotages their own success the moment things start going well. There's a pattern here, and it's not random. It's ritual. Even literature romanticizes this. Wuthering Heights, The Sorrows of Young Werther. Countless stories where love is pain, and suffering becomes beautiful. We consume these narratives because deep down, they resonate with a part of us we don't talk about. The part that believes intensity equals meaning. That something must hurt to be real. But here's the problem. When we equate pain with depth, we start mistrusting peace. When a relationship feels stable, we call it boring. When things are going well, we look for ways to sabotage. Because without the drama, we don't know who we are. It's a kind of emotional addiction. The brain, accustomed to the highs and lows of emotional chaos, begins to crave the spikes. Cortisol, adrenaline, dopamine, all cycling through us like a drug. And like any addiction, we build tolerance, needing more and more volatility to feel anything at all. This is why healing feels so strange. Why healthy love can seem flat. It's not that the new relationship is lacking. It's that our nervous system is calibrated for pain. Peace feels like absence, silence feels like threat. So we pick fights, we pull away, we recreate the chaos just to feel something familiar. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that's the heart of this. Emotional masochism isn't a death wish. It's a compass warped by history, trauma, and unmet needs, pointing us back toward pain we think we deserve. But we don't have to follow it. Recognizing this pattern is the first act of rebellion. It means asking hard questions. Why do I keep choosing what hurts? What am I trying to resolve through this suffering? Whose love am I still chasing? Whose abandonment am I trying to reverse? Sometimes we're not chasing love, we're chasing resolution. A way to rewrite the past by recreating it in the present, hoping that this time the ending will change, but the past doesn't heal through repetition. It heals through rupture, through choosing the unfamiliar, the stillness, the discomfort of not being in pain. There's nothing romantic about suffering. It's not a badge of depth or a sign of emotional nobility. True strength is in softness, in allowing peace to feel safe, in not needing to bleed to feel alive. And yet, we must hold space for compassion, because if you see yourself in this, if you recognize the patterns, the pull toward heartbreak, it's not a flaw. It's not weakness. It's a wound, one that asked for love and learned to accept pain instead. But wounds can heal, slowly, messily, with time and awareness and an entirely new language for love. One that doesn't sting, one that doesn't mirror the chaos of our past. We are not bound to repeat the pain that shaped us. We are allowed to choose differently even when it feels unnatural. Especially when it feels unnatural, because that discomfort, that quiet resistance to chaos, that's growth. And sometimes the bravest thing we can do is not to endure more pain, but to say, I've had enough. If this video made something stir inside you, if it mirrored a part of your story, don't let that go unnoticed. Sit with it, reflect on it. Maybe journal, maybe talk to someone, or maybe just let yourself feel seen for a moment. And if you found value in this journey, if it illuminated something for you, like subscribe and share it with someone who might need it too. Because somewhere someone is still chasing pain thinking it's love. Let's help them remember the difference.